poverty is not absence of money, it is absence of God in consciousness. Have you ever observed how some people transform everything they touch into gold, while others remain eternally struggling against invisible currents that drain their prosperity, no matter how much they work or strive? The answer is not in financial strategies or external opportunities, but in the revolutionary truth that Paramahansa Yogananda revealed to the few prepared. Your wealth already exists in potential form in the invisible realm, awaiting only the correct divine thought to crystallize in material reality. What I'm about to share will completely transform your relationship with abundance, because you will discover that you do not need to create wealth. You only need to remove the mental blocks that prevent its natural manifestation. The mind, according to the deepest teachings of Vedic wisdom that Yogananda brought to the West, is the supreme magnet of fortune, and that which you think with unshakable faith inevitably attracts its physical correspondence in the world of forms. Prepare yourself for a journey that will forever dissolve the illusion that prosperity depends on external circumstances, because today you will receive the secret formula that has the power to transmute centuries of limiting financial karma in a single conscious application, opening portals of abundance that will remain open for the rest of your earthly existence. There exists a divine thought so powerful that, when pronounced with absolute faith and deep understanding, it has the power to instantly dissolve patterns of scarcity that may have accompanied your lineage for entire generations. This is not a superficial mantra or self-help affirmation, but a cosmic truth that operates through the most subtle laws of manifestation. The source of my wealth is infinite and is within me. When you pronounce these words, truly understanding their meaning, something moves in the invisible dimensions of reality. The fundamental difference between those who prosper and those who struggle is not in the quantity of work they perform, but in the quality of consciousness they invest in their activities. Two people can execute exactly the same tasks, one vibrating scarcity and limitation, the other radiating abundance and unlimited possibility, and will obtain completely different results, because the universe responds not to what you do, but to what you are in the depth of your being. Yogananda used to teach through a powerful parable. Two miners descended into the same mine, one thinking, "I am digging worthless stones," the other affirming, "I am discovering hidden treasures of the earth." At the end of the day, the first found only common pebbles, while the second invariably discovered precious veins, because his divine thoughts magnetize opportunities that remained invisible to limited consciousness. Begin right now to apply this sacred principle. Before initiating any activity related to work or money, pause for a few moments, connect with the truth that you are individual expression of infinite consciousness, and declare mentally, "Through me, divine abundance finds perfect expression in this world." Feel these words not as mere repetition, but as recognition of your true spiritual nature. But here we arrive at an understanding that may shock your conditioned mind. Many of the financial difficulties you experience are not result of bad luck or lack of opportunities, but manifestations of financial karma accumulated through past attitudes of selfishness, waste, or inadequate use of resources that life placed in your hands. Karma is not a system of divine punishment, but an educational mechanism of universal consciousness to teach balance, responsibility, and wise use of creative energy. Each time in the past, you wasted resources, treated money with disrespect, acted with greed and pettiness, or used abundance for destructive purposes, you created energetic impressions that would eventually return as experiences of financial limitation. Likewise, each act of genuine generosity, each conscious and beneficial use of resources, each attitude of gratitude for goods received planted seeds of future prosperity that await adequate conditions to germinate. The beauty of this cosmic law is that karma can be transmuted instantly through spiritual alchemy of divine thoughts, combined with aligned actions. It is not necessary to wait entire lifetimes to balance karmic accounts. When you consciously cultivate thoughts of divine abundance, sacred gratitude, and strategic generosity, ancient energies of limitation begin to dissolve and transform into currents of growing prosperity. Institute the daily practice of financial karmic transmutation. Dedicate 10 minutes every morning to visualizing golden light enveloping and purifying all your past experiences related to money, while mentally forgiving yourself for any inadequate use of resources and committing to honor abundance as sacred gift of divinity expressed through your life. The most transformative revelation you can have about prosperity is this: external poverty is always reflection of interior poverty, not of material resources, but of connection with your infinite source. When you feel separated from cosmic abundance, when you forget that you are heir child of the kingdom of heaven, when you allow fears and limitations to dominate your habitual thoughts, you literally disconnect from channels through which divine prosperity flows naturally to your experience. Fear of losing money, for example, is a vibration so powerful that it magnetizes exactly that which we most fear, creating a vicious cycle where the more we worry about scarcity, the more scarcity we attract. On the other hand, when we recognize wealth as natural state of consciousness connected to the infinite, we begin to break invisible chains that kept our prosperity imprisoned in potential dimensions of reality. A woman sought Yogananda lamenting her constant lack of money, despite working tirelessly. The master asked her to observe her thoughts for a week. She discovered that she spent the day mentally repeating phrases like, "I can't afford it," "I never have enough money," "Life is so expensive." Yogananda explained that she was hypnotizing herself with suggestions of scarcity and taught her to substitute each limiting thought with, "God is my inexhaustible source and abundance flows through me now." In 3 months, her financial situation had completely transformed. Become archaeologist of your own financial consciousness through this deep investigation. During the next 7 days, note every time you think or speak something related to money, carefully observing whether these expressions carry energy of abundance or scarcity, and committing to consciously transform each limiting vibration into recognition of your true nature as individual expression of infinite wealth. All authentic spiritual traditions of humanity converge toward a fundamental truth about prosperity that transcends cultural and religious differences. True abundance is always fruit of alignment of individual soul with universal principles of righteousness, service, and recognition of divinity as source of all goods. In Hinduism, Lakshmi, goddess of abundance, responds not to desperate pleas, but to elevated vibration of sincere devotion, dedicated work, and wise use of received resources. Buddhism reveals that generosity is the invisible root of material fortune, teaching that those who give consciously open energetic space in their lives to receive multiplied that which they offered with love. This is not commercial bargain with universe, but recognition that fundamental nature of reality is infinite abundance circulating freely, and that we block this circulation when we act with pettiness or excessive attachment to material goods. Mystical Christianity, especially in the esoteric teachings of Jesus that few understood deeply, presents us with the principle, "Seek first the kingdom of God, and all else will be added unto you," as practical revelation about laws of manifestation. When we prioritize spiritual development and service to common good, we automatically align with cosmic currents that bring prosperity as natural consequence, not as egocentric objective. Study and meditate regularly on sacred scriptures of different traditions, always seeking to extract practical principles that can transform your relationship with abundance. Dedicate yourself especially to study of Bhagavad Gita about detached work, biblical proverbs about financial wisdom, and Buddhist sutras on generosity, always asking how these teachings can be concretely applied in your daily financial life. Now you will receive a sacred technique that Paramahansa Yogananda called Divine Abundance Meditation, a practice scientifically designed to dissolve subconscious blocks to prosperity and establish direct connection with infinite source of all resources. This is not superficial visualization, but advanced spiritual technology that works with subtle energetic centers responsible for magnetization of material abundance. The exercise should be performed for 21 consecutive days, preferably at same time and place, thus creating stable energetic field that will progressively strengthen your capacity to manifest prosperity. Sit comfortably with spine erect, close eyes gently, and breathe deeply 3 times, allowing each exhalation to release tensions and worries related to money and material security. Then visualize golden river of liquid light descending from top of your head, passing through your heart and radiating to all cells of your body, while you repeat mentally with absolute conviction, "I am divine wealth in constant manifestation." Feel these words not as empty affirmation, but as recognition of eternal truth about your real nature, as individualized expression of infinite cosmic abundance. End each session remaining in silence for a few minutes, simply absorbing the elevated vibration that was established, and then open eyes slowly, carrying this transformed energy to all your activities of the day. Maintain diary of synchronicities, opportunities, and positive changes that will begin to arise in your financial life as a result of this sacred practice. Prepare yourself for a revelation that will forever transform your search for prosperity. The secret of lasting abundance is not in running after money, opportunities, or external connections, but in learning to vibrate internally as if you were already completely prosperous, because universe responds not to what you physically possess, but to energetic frequency you constantly emit through your thoughts, feelings, and habitual expectations. When your soul learns to vibrate abundance, through genuine gratitude for what you already possess, unshakable confidence in goodness of life, and spontaneous generosity in all your relationships, Cosmos automatically conspires to bring people, resources, and opportunities that correspond to this elevated vibration. Money, in this superior perspective, is only physical messenger of much more subtle energies you are radiating to quantum field of reality. Yogananda used to teach that true cause of wealth is not in world of forms, but in dimension of consciousness, and that those who master this sacred science can manifest abundance in any external circumstance, because they learned to directly access infinite source that is beyond all economic fluctuations and temporary material conditions. This is difference between wealth dependent on external factors and prosperity that springs from authentic spiritual connection. Practice conscious elevation of your financial vibration through this daily technique. Regardless of your current material situation, dedicate 15 minutes every morning to feeling genuinely grateful for abundances that already exist in your life, health, relationships, knowledge, abilities, and from this real gratitude, consciously expand this feeling of plenitude to include material prosperity, as if it were already flowing perfectly through your existence. Authentic spirituality manifests not only in moments of meditation or sacred study, but mainly through sanctification of each apparently mundane act of your daily existence, transforming your relationship with money from desperate struggle into sacred dance with energies of universal abundance. Each financial transaction can become opportunity to practice elevated spiritual principles. Each economic decision can reflect your growing interior wisdom. The first and most transformative of new habits you must cultivate is complete substitution of scarcity language for expressions of abundance in all your conversations and thoughts. Instead of saying, "I don't have money," or "I can't afford it," train yourself to affirm, "I am choosing not to invest in this now," or "I am directing my abundance to other priorities," thus maintaining vibration of personal power and connection with infinite resources. Before any spending or receiving of money, mentally envelop these energies in golden light, blessing both money that goes out and that which enters as sacred expression of divine circulation through your life. Practice strategic generosity daily. It can be coin for someone needy, slightly larger tip, or contribution to beneficial cause, always with consciousness that giving consciously is spiritual technology to unblock greater flows of abundance. Transform your work, whatever it may be, into act of conscious service to greater good of humanity, remembering that serving with love and genuine dedication magnetizes prosperity much more effectively than working only for financial compensation. This change of motivation from work for money to service through work drastically elevates your professional vibration and attracts opportunities increasingly aligned with your unique talents. When you truly understand and integrate truth that authentic prosperity is not only possessing material goods, but feeling genuinely fulfilled and connected with infinite source of all resources, something extraordinary happens in your consciousness. You cease seeking wealth as compensation for interior emptiness and begin experiencing it as natural expression of your own spiritual abundance, change that completely transforms your energy and personal magnetism. Those who discover this secret formula of prosperous consciousness perceive that abundance is not state they need to reach, but reality that always existed in potential within them, awaiting only recognition and activation through adequate spiritual practices. Prosperity ceases being anxious desire and becomes natural consequence of living aligned with your true nature as individual expression of infinite cosmic consciousness. True wealth, in this expanded perspective, includes material abundance as only one of many expressions of divine plenitude that encompasses radiant health, harmonious relationships, unshakable inner peace, unlimited creativity, and mainly constant joy of knowing yourself loved and sustained by universal intelligence that governs all manifestation. This is wealth that no economic crisis can touch, no external circumstance can diminish. Dedicate yourself daily to expansion of your abundance consciousness through deep contemplation of this truth. You are not separate beings struggling for scarce resources in hostile universe, but unique and precious expression of infinite abundance itself, temporarily focused in human experience, to contribute specific gifts to collective evolution of planetary consciousness. We arrive at end of this sacred revelation, but you are only beginning new phase of your relationship with abundance, now armed with understanding that can transform centuries of financial limitation in single conscious application of eternal spiritual principles. Truth that poverty is forgetfulness of source and wealth is living remembrance that God is infinite, is not mere philosophical concept, but practical key that opens dimensional portals through which divine prosperity can flow freely in your earthly experience. A single divine thought, when understood and applied with total faith, possesses real power to dissolve ancestral patterns of scarcity and establish permanent currents of abundance in all areas of your existence, because you discovered that you are not cosmic beggar, imploring divine favor, but legitimate heir of infinite wealth that was always available, awaiting only your conscious recognition to manifest fully. If these revelations awakened in your soul recognition of truths your superior being always knew intuitively, demonstrate your gratitude for wisdom received by offering your like as gesture of recognition for transformation that already began in your financial consciousness. Subscribe to this channel of light to continue receiving teachings that will progressively elevate your abundance vibration and permanently transform your material experience. Share this transformative message with other souls who are ready to liberate themselves from limiting financial karma and discover their true nature as expressions of divine wealth. For you can be instrument through which someone finds keys to their definitive economic liberation. Write in comments your sacred affirmation, "The source of my wealth is within me," allowing this declaration to penetrate even more deeply into your subconscious consciousness and accelerate its manifestation in external reality. May infinite abundance of cosmic consciousness flow through all aspects of your existence. May divine prosperity manifest in increasingly beautiful and beneficial forms in your life. And may you awaken completely to your natural inheritance as beloved child of eternal wealth.